Good day, Ma'am Margot. We are the Group 3 Quasar Guild from Grade 12 Galilei, and we're going to discuss the Marxist perspective. Marxist perspective focuses on understanding a text in the context of social, economic, and political power structures, particularly those related to class struggle and economic system. An explanation, Marxist perspective literature interacts with and reflects larger social, political, and economic forces with an emphasis on class relations, economic system, and the manner in which these structures affect both individuals and groups. It investigates the distribution of power in society. Scholars can discover how tales can support or contradict prevailing ideas and draw attention to problems like injustice, inequality, and exploitation by closely examining the text. This approach challenges readers to think about how literature shapes and challenges social norms, especially when it comes to representations of class conflict and defiance of authority.
The Lottery by Shirley Jackson. The Lottery was first published in The New Yorker on June 26, 1948. It is about a small American town that holds an annual lottery to ensure a good harvest and get rid of bad omens. The story takes place in a small, seemingly calm community that celebrates an annual lottery. On the specified day, the villagers assemble, and each family draws a slip of paper from a black box. The person who draws the slip with a black dot is chosen for a terrible destiny, which is they are put to death by the community. The lottery's goal is simply presented as a tradition to ensure the community's prosperity, but its history and reasoning have long been forgotten. The story ends with Stacy Hutchinson, who questions the fairness of the process, being identified as the victim and executed by her neighbors, including her own family. This story talks about a small town that holds an annual lottery as a tradition to ensure a good harvest. Each family draws a slip from a black box, and the person with the marked slip is stoned to death by the community. The story shows how people follow harmful traditions without questioning them. It ends with Tessie Hutchinson being chosen and killed, even as she protests it's unfair.
Sample of critical question. To what extent are the lives of the characters influenced determined by the social, political, and economic force?
Social forces. The lottery is a historical ritual that characters blindly obey without questioning its purpose or morality. This devotion to tradition creates a community believes in a routine around violence preventing individual opposing views.
The political force in this context highlights the danger of blindly following ritual or tradition without questioning their purpose. The lack of clear justification allows those in authority to maintain control and challenges.
Economic forces. The power dynamics in the story resemble an economic hierarchy. Mr. Summers, who ran the lottery, also owns a coal business, demonstrating his wealth and social position. The townspeople commitment to him may indicate their acceptance of economic inequality.
Marxist perspective, economics or social studies.
The Marxist perspective argues that society divided into classes based on their relationship to the means of production, with the ruling class bourgeoisie owning and controlling the resources, while the working classes, proletariat, sell their labor for wages. Therefore, Marxism sees society as divided into groups based on their relationship to work. The bourgeoisie, the wealthy owners, control the means of production, factories, land, etc. The proletariat, the working class, must sell their labor to the bourgeoisie for wages. This creates an unequal system where bourgeoisie benefits from the workers' labor, while the workers receive only a small share of the wealth they produce.
In which states this structure creates an imbalance where the bourgeoisie exploits the proletariat's labor for their own profits, leading to hierarchy and inequalities. So in Marx's theory, emphasizes the conflict between both classes and proletariat seeking to rebel the system and establish a classless society. And that concludes the common critical approaches in analyzing literary pieces towards Marxist perspective. Thank you.